Gone but not forgotten. We are celebrating the men and women who serve our country in war and in peace. Our 22 News anchor, Rich Teddemer, explains how veterans are being remembered in Springfield and Westfield.
At the Springfield museums, especially at the History Museum, we really love to hold up the stories of the past, especially stories that are relevant to today.
Thank you for your service is the theme of this exhibit to honor the sailors who sailed the USS Springfield, a light cruiser commissioned in 1944, just in time to make a difference in World War II.
The third version of the USS Springfield was a cruiser that actually saw action during World War II. It helped protect the aircraft carriers going into the attack on Okinawa. And it was one of the first ships into Tokyo Bay, and it earned 2 service stars for the work during that war.
And that greatest generation continued to serve and inspire after the war was over. It's a characteristic in veterans from Western Massachusetts that can be traced all the way back to the Civil War.
And what we've noticed again and again, especially with stories of veterans, people who served their country as soldiers, they came back to the U.S., they came back to Springfield specifically, and they continued to serve, either by doing civic work, like Thomas after the Civil War came back and helped build a benevolent society for African-American entrepreneurs, or Gert Cahill Carney, who came back after World War II, having served as a WAVE, and sat down and got to work building a database of 300 female soldiers so that we could look back and see who it was who served during the wars. That's important work. It helps us remember, and it helps us celebrate the incredible civic duty that these people gave to us.
The Springfield Armory played a major role in conflicts with the United States throughout the ages, including during World War I, where they provided the primary weapon used by U.S. troops. All of this is on display at the Wood Museum of Springfield History, where active service members and veterans can get in for free. In Westfield, they're preserving the memory of veterans in a different way.
I think that our veterans, and particularly notable members of our community that are interred here and other cemeteries, their history needs to be preserved and their legacy needs to carry on forward.
Gene Thoreau, the past commander of American Legion Post 124, is honoring veterans one gravestone at a time. Gene has spent hundreds of hours in Pine Hill Cemetery in Westfield and Southwick's Old Cemetery, cleaning the headstones and monuments of veterans of all wars.
This is a World War I veteran. As you can see, it's very difficult to read the name. The product I use is called D/2. It's used by the Department of the Interior, at the White House, the Supreme Court, amongst other buildings. It's used by the National Park Service at all the national cemeteries. And you can see like the agent showing up a little white there. I'm going to use this soft natural brush and work my way from the bottom up to circular motions, and you see that I don't have to press at all. I'm not putting any pressure on it. I'm just doing a circular motion just to get it working there real well. So it works its way into the stone. It kills all the biological growth that's inside the stone, and then afterwards, through the combination of the sun, particularly the sun, wind and rain, it will draw all that stuff out in a matter of months. This monument, you come back, will be completely white. It'll be absolutely gorgeous.
What Gene and his volunteers are doing, stone by stone, is preserving history. So a veteran like 19-year-old Bernard Barnes, killed in action in Europe in 1944, won't be forgotten.
Bernard, well, he was a young man that got called up like so many other men in that time era to serve in World War II. And he served over in Europe, obviously, and died at a very young age, at the age of 19. So that made my grandmother a Gold Star mother, and also prevented my father from going to serve, because he was the last remaining male in the family.
And now his headstone, originally set over 70 years ago, almost looks brand new.
But to actually come up here and to be able to legibly read everything, and to see the dates, and to kind of remember the people, and you tend to almost forget some of the details because it's so dirty and washed over with muck, and then you come and you clean it off. You know, it's a source of pride that when our family members come up here, they can actually see a beautiful renovated gravestone and can read clearly all the dates and the names. So it's been a very special thing for us.
They sacrificed so much for our liberty and freedom, and just imagine if it wasn't for Stanley Kellogg Smith, his son, what he did in World War II, or Richard Vincent over there, who paid the ultimate sacrifice in Tarawa on November 20th, 1943. So we have a lot to be grateful and thankful for. I sure am. And so it's not too much for me to spend some of my time cleaning and preserving monuments for our heroes, as well as other notable citizens in our community.
For Veterans Voices, I'm Rich Teddemer, 22 News.